Hi guys, this is Vidas and welcome back to Learn with Vidas session. Today I'm going to teach you how to expand your Prelude, Offertory, Communion or Postlude. I'm very glad to be able to teach you again. I just returned from my basically 12-day trip to Australia. It's been a wonderful visit, very educational. And now I'm back and ready to start learning and teaching you some very nice tricks. So welcome Dawn in this chat. Anyone else who is joining us live, say hello in the chat, right? I'm very delighted to see your input as well. So the challenge for today, right? What are we going to achieve? Imagine a situation. You are a church organist and have to play prelude, postlude, offertory, or interlude, right? Or even a postlude. And while you're playing, you selected some organ piece, organ repertoire that you learned before, prepare. And while you're doing this, imagine you are noticing the liturgy demands more. Something is holding, basically taking longer in the liturgy. Either the offertory offering part of the mass or the service is going longer, and you still have to keep playing because your piece is maybe 3 pages long, and it only lasts three minutes or 2 minutes, right? And you suddenly realize there is not enough music, right? Or the prelude, like processional, you start playing and suddenly you realize your piece is too short, and the processional, the procession of the clergy hasn't even started. Right? Or the communion. Usually communion is very hard to predict how many people are in the church and how long will it take. So your selected piece might be a little bit too short or too long sometimes, right? So you have to obviously be flexible. And the postlude probably is less important because people are living, right? So you are free to do what you want, and usually you can play either longer or shorter, whatever your choice is. But sometimes even during postlude, I had this situation after mass when I play, and everything was sort of ending, right? No liturgy, right? Everyone was retiring, but then somebody would come up to the microphone. Even the priest might come up to the microphone and say a few words, right? And you want to be flexible. Also, you want to sometimes end earlier than expected, or sometimes longer, right? So that what we are going to do today. Welcome Dawn, right, in the chat. Excellent. So I was recording a piece by Phil Leyenbauer lately in Australia, and since it's suitable for Lent, it's called Beach Spring. I will play it for you now, but we'll talk about how to expand it, okay? How to expand it and make it longer. That's the thing. It could be obviously communion piece or the offertory piece or the prelude piece easily. It has a soft registration, and let's see what we can find. Today we're going to use Kam organ from the Grote Kerk in Dordrecht. Come from 1859. This is Sweeling sample set. And let's see, we need 2 manuals. On the solo manual, let's hear some solo flute or a diapason. Basically, foundations. On the pedal, let's hear some nice soft sounding piece, right? And on the Hauptwerk, let's see if we can find some nice flutes and strings, maybe tremulant, maybe. Right, I think it's good enough. I'm getting used to the tune and the key. All right, I think we're good enough. Now let me play it for you. Beach Spring by Phil Lehenbauer, created in 2019. Beautiful, beautiful piece. And let's see what happens afterwards. I will play it as written, and then we'll talk about how to expand it. Enjoy. Okay, so what do you think? It's a beautiful piece, don't you think? Right. And very gentle. It could be a postlude or prelude or an offertory or a communion piece in Lent, right? For the ending, for the postlude, maybe we would need a little more active, but depending on the situation, it could be even a postlude in some cases, in some meditation-based services. Okay. So, what do you think we should do? I think we could have two options. Either we expand this piece by repeating a section, or we improvise. First of all, let me try to repeat a section. We have four simple pages here, and let me try to find a suitable spot. Imagine we would need to double the length. So instead of 4 measures, instead of 4 pages, we would need to have maybe 8 pages or 6 pages long, right? So adding just 2 more pages. So obviously after 2 pages in the beginning, we could start finding a place to repeat a section. So let me do that. I will play it the ending, but the trick is not to play until the very end of the piece, because the very end of the piece sounds like this. And you don't want anything else after this cadence. That's the end. But if we end earlier and go back to some other place in the piece, earlier piece, so you remember this fragment? I could go back now. So I think you see what I did, right? After playing the last few lines, instead of finishing the piece, I went back a couple of pages and found a similar pattern, similar this motive. And this is the middle of the piece, and then I could expand it twice, basically, this beautiful beach spring. This is one option. In any of the pieces that you play, prelude, postlude, interlude, communion, offertory, you could simply go back to the suitable section of the piece in the middle and then connect it. All right? Connected, and that would sound really well if you need to expand it. Sometimes if you do that, the piece becomes too long. That's another problem. So let me now try to end it somewhere in the middle, okay? So let's imagine I'm playing in the middle of the piece like this, and I will end it somewhere nicely too. Let's hear it. You see what I did? I basically added a few more measures in the same style, in the same harmony style, using colorful chords. I noticed that Phil used E flat in the bass, which is foreign to F major. So maybe I could use D flat, maybe I could use A flat with the 7th chord, right? And then even E flat again and F, right? Chord. You extend it by adding a couple of colorful chords this way. In every chord you add a little bit of dissonant, and dissonant is meaning probably a major or minor second, meaning like this. For example, in this chord there is a second between B flat and C. Let me show you the keyboard. This is a dissonant. Again, we have another instance between D flat and C. D flat in the pedals, D flat and C. This is a basic inverted major minor second. It's a major 7 this way. Still this A flat 7th chord, also this very suitable. Maybe G flat 7th chord. And tonic chord, but now with the dissonant sounds between C and D, major 2nd, between G and A, major 2nd, and together it sounds really nice. Right? It has actually a name. It's actually major 13th chord. Without the B flat and without the E, right? Without those 2 tritones. F major 13th chord. So basically you can do the same by expanding the harmony a little bit in the same style that you previously had, meaning a little bit of dissonances in each hand. Okay, so you can actually expand the piece or shorten it as well, ending it on a cadence that you designed yourself. And now let's talk a little bit about the second option, which is actually improvising additional section, not playing and repeating the piece from the middle by finding a suitable place to cut and paste, right? But you simply keep playing, keep going, basically in the same style. Let me now play the last page, and somewhere, instead of playing the last line, I will shift my harmonies, shift my melodies, and keep playing until I decide to stop. Okay, let me do it. The last page. So what did I do here? I simply waited for the last cadence, but instead of playing the last two measures, I kept playing in the same style. Yeah, so basically provided the same harmonies. Hi Sean, it's good to see you in the chat. Yes, I'm back. I returned on the evening of on Thursday night, Lithuanian time. It was a long 29-hour trip back, 29.5-hour trip from Australia. And of course, it was strenuous trip, and I didn't take a risk to do on the bench with Vidas session on Friday, so I actually skipped it, and a good thing I did because I was quite exhausted. But then, of course, by today I slept a little more and more and more, and tonight I'm quite rested and teaching now without any problems. So thank you so much, Sean, for joining. Thanks so much for your support. Really, really appreciate Osha and myself as well. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat as well. So we're actually expanding our B string prelude by fiddle and bow this way, and we talked about basically two ways: either to play the piece until almost the end, and then jump to the middle of the piece and repeat a section, and then finish it either until the very end, or if you need to finish it a little bit earlier, which is still longer than the original piece, then you add a few measures of additional harmonies similar to what Phil does with seventh chords and dissonant chords, extended tonality basically. Let me talk a little bit of extended tonality. It's interesting. Basically, we are borrowing chords. Imagine we are in F major. Maybe we are a little bit too loud. Let me play on the positive. So in F major, you only have B flat, right? B flat. Right. Giovanni, hello. Wonderful to see you again. In F major, there is only B flat next to the treble clef or the bass clef. But what happens if you add any other flats? Not the sharps, but flats, because this is a key with some flat sounding harmonies, right? So instead of, let's see, the second flat is E flat, so let's add E flat, not that distant. E flat. Third flat would be A flat. A little bit different. Fourth flat would be D flat. The fifth flat would be G flat. And at some point you want to return. Those flats and a little bit of flavor. Very nice. Right. So, did you like the sound? That's what you can use. Extended tonality, borrowing chords, not from the major key but from the minor key. Let me tell you what I mean. In F major we have these chords. These 6 chords: F major, G minor, A minor, B major, C major, and D minor. From the E note we have diminished root position chord, which is not a complete major minor chord, so we don't use it. We could use this inversion chord, but not root position chord, so let's skip it for now. And there are 6 basically chords usable in F major. But what if we have F minor? So we have F minor chord, skipping the chord from G because it's also diminished, but A flat is very usable. So F minor, A flat major, B flat minor, C minor, D flat major, E flat. So we're playing major minor keys, major minor keys. You can mix those chords instantly. Let me improvise a little bit by doing some interesting chords in the left hand part and adding some interesting sounds in the right hand part as well, using the chords from the F major area and F minor area in alternation. That would be interesting, right? Look what happens. Sometimes it could be root position chords, sometimes even seventh chords, right? With the dissonant notes. Let's see. I think it sounds very nice when you mix chords from F major and F minor area. Try it at home actually. It's not that difficult. Just remember that F major area has one flat, B flat, and F minor area has four flats, B flat, E flat, A flat, and D flat. And you can use one phrase in F major area and another phrase in F minor area, and they suddenly have beautiful different color when you go back and forth between those two areas and really expand your color capabilities on the organ. Really, really nice. So that's what we're talking about, how to explore those different harmonies, because Phil Leonbauer uses similar chords, you see, not only in F major, but I see E flat area and A flat major 7th chord. So at least those two. What about others? Do we have others? D flat, yeah. E flat and A flat. Those three are borrowed from F minor, right? So composers of contemporary music love to borrow chords from the related keys: F major, F minor. It could be C major, C minor, right? Or G major, G minor. Let me now see if you understand this correctly by looking at C major and then C minor chords. C major, all those keys are related to C major. C major related to D minor, related to E minor, related to F major. You can use G major and A minor, but not B minor, because here it's diminished 7th chord and it's not nice. So every key has tonic area and 5 more keys, related ones. There are some other keys which are still related, but we're not talking about, because they're taken not from the natural major but from harmonic major or harmonic minor area. Let's not mix things today, but let's keep in diatonic keys, in natural minor, okay? So imagine we are now, instead of C major, we are now in C minor with 3 flats. So we have C minor instead of D, which is diminished. We have skip this, and E flat major is F minor chord is good, G minor chord is good, A flat major chord is good, and B flat major chord is good. This. So again, if you're playing a piece of music in C major, it sounds really nice if you alternate chords both from C major and C minor area. Let me show you how it sounds. Really nice technique. Yes, I agree, Don. Sean, very nice. Great. So wonderful. I hope you enjoyed this beautiful beach spring, an extension of beach spring, and you now have probably tools to create your own music. Let's see if we can find something similar. Yeah, I don't think we need any scores right now, but basically I can now improvise even louder musical piece, like a postlude, right? Based on the chords that you already saw. For example, let's choose a key. Who wants to give me a key? Okay, in the chat. I would appreciate a suggestion in the chat. Let me give you a key and a meter, okay? And in the meantime, I will prepare a louder registration. B flat, I like it, B flat, yeah. So maybe it's loud enough. Is it loud enough? Let me check. Maybe it's loud enough. Now let's add a little bit of bass. Quint. Maybe without the trombone and without the cobbler. It's loud enough. It would be nice. So here we have B flat in 6/8 meter. Oh wow! Okay, I like this kind of challenge, or maybe we could do this more often, okay? Even during on the bench with Vidas on Fridays, okay? So this is like a assignment for me, for you to enjoy. I will improvise a postlude based on B flat major area, but in 6/8 meters I will also add interesting sounds from B flat minor area as well. So let's recap a little bit what chords we can use in B flat. Can you see? I will do this. Right, B flat major chord, C minor chord, A minor, D minor chord, E flat major chord, F major chord, and G minor chord. This is related to the 2 flat area, to B flat major, right? Those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? 6 scale degrees. And now let's do B flat minor area. This is 5 flat key. And remember to skip 2nd scale degree, which is diminished. So we could use B flat minor, D flat major, E flat minor, F flat minor, G flat minor, and A flat minor. So those 6. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 scale degrees, right? And we can expand and alternate between these two B flat major area and B flat minor area in 6/8 meter. So let's call this piece a postlude, okay, like a postlude in B flat. I can't say it if it's actually from in B flat major or minor, because it will connect both keys. We're borrowing basically keys from the major and minor tonalities of the same key from B flat, right? The B flat major and B flat minor, and they will sound really colorful. So let's hear it. 6/8 meter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. If it was like a offertory or communion, I would play it softer and maybe in Siciliana character. Pam 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 pam, like this, right? But if it's postlude, it needs energy and more active approach, louder registrations, which I selected, and a little faster motion, probably pum 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 pum, like this. So let's see what happens. B flat major. That was fun. Did you notice sometimes I shifted between B flat major area and B flat minor area? So that was more like an improvised postlude than a regular piece from the repertoire, but you could still basically select similar ideas and expand the regular piece that you play in a contemporary style, obviously. If we're talking about Baroque style or classical or romantic style with the tonal harmonies, tonal key relationships, tonal progressions, tonic, subdominant, dominant, and modulations, then different rules apply, right? Different rules, because we have to really harmonize in 4-part harmony, nice chords, sometimes more dissonant, sometimes less dissonance, sometimes with modulation, sometimes without. But this is different style. Like imagine Felix Mendelssohn style, right? A little more chromatic, but still 19th century romantic style, or Johann Sebastian Bach, or Dietrich Buxtehude style, or even let's say Widor style and Guillemot style. It's still romantic and symphonic in nature. What I played is more contemporary in nature, which fits very well with the previous style of Bauer, obviously. So depending on what music you play, you have to continue playing in the same style, in the same vein, basically, so that your congregation would almost not notice what's happening. Maybe this is a continuation of Johann Sebastian Bach's chorale prelude, or Dietrich Buxtehude's ornamented chorale prelude, right? Or Felix Mendelssohn's sonata, in which you just keep going and basically continue. But you have to imitate the same style. That's the most important thing. So, Sean, thank you so much for your for your support and your compliments. It really means a lot to me. So I think you got the idea what you can do for the next Sunday, for the next liturgy that you're playing. If you need to extend the piece, if you find a situation where your composition chosen for a specific liturgical function is not long enough. Okay, so stay tuned for Friday on the bench with Vidas. I think I can make it. On Saturday, Osha and I will be busy at our church. I will play an accompaniment for a choir concert. It's gonna be on the reed organ. We're playing Franz Liszt's Via Crucis, very long, beautiful cycle for the Holy Week, and 3 university choirs and soloists will join together, and I will be accompanying them on the reed organ at St. John's Church. So this is on Saturday, but Friday morning I think I will go for a rehearsal there, and hopefully we can still manage on the bench with Vidas session. Maybe I could actually play it for you 1 or 2 stations of the cross, basically, because it has some solo parts without the choir as well. That would be nice for you to hear what I'm going to play on Saturday with the choir. Lovely, lovely indeed. So, and on Sunday after that, look forward to the next tutorial, Learn with Vidas. For that I will need, of course, your requests. So if you need to learn something interesting, let me know. I can teach you that as well. And remember, when you practice, miracles happen. Thanks so much. Bye.